Transformation is to make a dramatic change in form or character, ultimately, to be in a better place than you were before.
Where do we start? Like, our lives have been pretty intense the last couple of years. It's been a lot of changes. It kind of started with, like, when he was 2.5, 3 years old, because he got diagnosed with ADHD. Because we started seeing that something was different, and he had a hard time at daycare and transitioning, and so we kind of saw that, he's very active, definitely hyper ADHD. So we started to see something was different.
Yeah, like he started kindergarten.
Yeah, so in Ontario, you started kindergarten when you were 4. They were not prepared to help him with his needs and support him. We got the autism diagnosis only a year ago, January of last year.
We love these parts of Anders where he's wanting to go and watch snow melt for hours. That's great. I love it as a parent. It's super fun. But I think then you enter the school system, and it's those pieces aren't loved. Anders needed support, but he was kind of met with contempt.
Yeah,
I think we're
he became
met with,
a problem child fairly early on, right? It's you're a problem because you can't transition, and you're a bad kid because you rearranged some furniture a little bit because someone didn't understand you.
The hardest piece is watching your 4-year-old internalize these pieces about themselves that we love.
Yeah.
But when you're put into a box that you have to be in, then you could see the pieces that he's always loved about himself turn inward, and that light and that inquisitive kid.
He stopped being happy.
Yeah.
Right? He disappeared. He was always when he was in daycare, he couldn't transition well, but they were oh, he's just the happiest kid. He's always happy. And then he started school, and that kid disappeared. He wasn't there anymore.
Marcus just wasn't meeting his milestones. So he wasn't talking, he wasn't using sentences, he wasn't using words. So that's kind of when I noticed, he was meeting most of the milestones, but just verbally, he wasn't there. It was actually the daycare that started suggesting that he had autism, and he was delayed in some areas because, when your child goes to daycare, they make you do these evaluations. I was sad, it's a pretty big shock. You have so many hopes and dreams for the future, and it just you kind of have to accept what it is.
Zach was a completely typical child. He was hitting all of his milestones and everything was great, and then at 18 months, just the eye contact went away, and the words went away, and he went to pointing and grunting within a week. Everyone around me was he's fine, don't worry about it, he's a baby. Took him to the doctor. She wasn't too concerned, but he just started to regress even more. So they sent him for a referral. That took 3 years in total before we got his official diagnosis. And after that, all our, plans and hopes and dreams kind of went away, and we had to come up with new ones.
Yeah, our world changed pretty much overnight.
Yeah.
At that point.
He was such a happy, fun, loving kid, and I feel through a lot of his school, he started to withdraw, and he started to just stay in his room a lot more, and he stopped laughing and stopped playing with his sisters and stopped playing outside with friends, and he didn't want to go anywhere. And he almost seemed depressed, which I didn't think could happen, because I didn't think he understood. But I think looking back now, I think he absolutely knew that he's like, I'm just in this bubble and with no plan.
She FaceTimes me, and I pick up, and she hasn't said a word. We haven't texted that day, and I just say, you want to move to Calgary, don't you? And she's like, yeah, it's easier. Like, we might be able to do this. And she says, like, there is this school that would like to see us. And I'm like sitting in a chair, I'm like, okay, I'll be there on Sunday. So Flora and I pack up. In that time, we contact our realtor, and we're like, we're gonna move.
When I found out about Janus, I was really excited, really happy. Marcus started at Janus in grade 1, and he is now in grade 3, gonna be grade 4, and the transformation just has been incredible. You know, he is talking more, he's being very independent, he is writing, he's reading, he is drawing, he is spelling, so he's made a huge transition from where he first started to now, so he's a whole new kid.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ones. So 69 has 6 tens, 10, and 9 ones. 9 ones. 9 ones. You got it. Would you like your monsters for a bit? Yeah, you're working so hard.
Janus Academy does help me think that it's possible. Marcus's favorite thing about school is school. He loves school. He wakes up every morning happy. He's a very happy kid, and he loves going, and it's great. It's crazy to know, like, you know, other families go through this stuff. And it's like, it's such a great school, so I'm really thankful for them. But my son loves school, so yeah, no. Big thank you. But yeah.
Going into grade 8, he started at Janus, and he's been there for 5 years, and yeah, this is his final year. He's graduating this year. Because of Janus, he has opportunities, and he has the potential that he would not have gotten if we had stayed on the track we were on. So they have given us these opportunities.
They've given us hope.
I feel like they take the time to hire and train the people that are passionate about what they do. You can tell the staff love what they do.
It's infectious, is what it is, right? Because when you actually see how the teachers interact with the kids, and then, you know, how they treat them, their kindness towards them, it rubs off on them, and it just rubs off on everybody else. So it just, like I said, it's infectious.
It spills over to our home life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
2 days of drop off where it was like
he needed help getting
you
out of the
needed-
car.
like you were like pulling him out of the car, and he was screaming and crying in the parking lot about going to school, and you're like, oh no, here we are. And I was like, Janus was like,
That's
his
fine.
like program coordinator is like, it's okay, like I'll come up with a plan and we'll start that tomorrow. They had posters and they had rewards and they had like everything like the next day to like get him into the building like in a positive way.
Anders was able to go to language arts, and he was able to do this. He couldn't do this, so we'll just come up with a plan and work on it. We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I think for me, the kind of the big moment where I'm like, okay, like this is worth this. As much as I was against going to Calgary and be even further away from Denmark, it's just like, he is happy. He loves going to school. He has the best time at school. You know, yeah, is it still hard to get him in the car because he can't transition? Absolutely. He's a disaster when he's done school because he works so hard at school. But he goes, he wants to go.
And he's happy.
And he's happy. And because he's happy, we can all just breathe a little bit. You know, it's like we get to be a family again because he's back.
What does transformation mean to Janus? It means learning how to communicate so that you have a voice. It means learning how to trust a teacher again when that trust has previously been broken. It means waking up and wanting to go to school again. It means learning how to be independent, to do something for yourself that you weren't able to do before. It means motivating our students to want to learn. It means gaining the confidence to challenge oneself further. It means being surrounded by the right people to help you thrive. And most of all, it means belonging to a community so that you don't have to feel alone anymore. This is what it means to Janus, and this is what it means to our students and their families.